The AST Voltson Super Trucks returns to short track racing this week in Flat Rock, Michigan. The Flat Rock Speedway is a favorite among fans and drivers alike. About a third of the field starting the race today has experience in the local ranks at this track, so we're about to see if one of the hometown heroes can pull off the victory. On the pole, however, would be Kalamazoo Speedway racer Chase Eberhardt in the 91 car, who did very well in this race last year, and on his outside is the winner of the SAR Nebraska 100 just a month ago, Jason Miller of the Terre Haute Action Track. Miller gets a great start over Eberhardt, and on the outside lane is going to take the lead and on the first lap. Eberhardt also falls victim to Daryl Quick, who gets by the 91 on the outside. I don't know if they changed anything on the 91 truck between qualifying and the race, but he is quickly on his way to the back. Danny Vigo now gets around the inside of him in the 80 truck. Vigo had a poor debut last week at the Michigan International Speedway, last month I should say. The teammate to Jason Miller was very much outdone by his boss, but this week he qualified in third and is already on his way to the front. He's challenging Daryl Quick for the second position, trying to make it an Operation JM12 at the front. Just behind this, there's a bit of three wide being forced as Mary Brousseau drives her truck between Michael McKinley and Chase Eberhardt. Eberhardt continuing his free fall through the field in these opening laps, and the 25 is going to get by two trucks at once. That was an impressive move through the middle, although McKinley is not letting her go just yet. More three wide in the midfield, Amberly Weiss on the outside of John White and on the inside of Kevin Thompson, and Thompson gets into the 75 and turns her into the outside wall in turn 3. There's going to be no caution for this, but that's going to inflict a lot of damage upon Kevin Thompson and Amberly Weiss's trucks. Looking from the aerial camera, Thompson brakes later and turns earlier into the corner than Weiss does in front of him, but once he gets into the back of her, he stays in the throttle until they're both in the outside wall. So that was rather silly on the part of Kevin Thompson. Back at the front, Danny Vigo has still not succeeded in passing Daryl Quick to continue to battle for second place as Miller leads in front of them. Miller may be saving his tires considering that he's not pulling away from them. This is a 100-lap race. The two Churchill Incorporated teammates are now racing with each other, with Zach Churchill on the inside and Brianna Princehorn on the outside. Churchill scored a top 5 here last year, while Princehorn didn't do as well. They're both running in the lower top 10 here at the beginning of the race. But they are under attack now from the 69 of Ronald Way. I don't think Churchill was expecting that move. The 69 gets on the throttle early and jumps to the inside of him off turn 2 and makes it 3 wide between the Flat Rock regulars. He's not going to get by Churchill, but Princehorn is going to be forced to give up the position on the outside. There's more 3 wide right behind this. Jack Clark is making his first start of the season in the 789. He is stuck between the rookies of Wilson Timothy and Allison Ashburn. There's contact between the 61 and the 789. That pushed Clark up into Allison Ashburn, and they both go into the outside wall in turn 4. That will bring out the first caution of the race. Both drivers will be able to continue on. After the restart, Ronald Way resumes his march towards the front, as he's now trying to get by his Outlaw Motorsports teammate Chase Eberhardt. Way did a similar thing in this race last year, where he stormed through the field, but he didn't do that until towards the end of the race. He's doing it much earlier this year. Although he's facing a challenge now from Kim Conway at 00, who drives around Eberhardt and tries to get to the inside of Way as well. This is the 3rd race in Conway's Voltson Super Trucks career. She raced last month at MIS and also last year at Flat Rock. Her team owner Pamela Keller is making her only start of this season, running a few positions behind her. Jason Miller still holds the lead and has been pulling away from Daryl Quick since the restart. He won in his first start last month at MIS and is now dominating his second start here today. He's led every lap since the start, very much continuing to impress in the 40 truck. Wilson Timothy is trying to work his way forward as well. He got a top 10 at MIS, and he's putting himself in the middle of Brianna Princehorn and Hunter Blaze. But there's contact. In the wall goes Blaze, and almost upside down the backstretch. A big crash on lap number 34. The caution is out for the second time today. Let's take another look at this. This isn't really going to show you much as to how that started, but it's going to show you what Brianna Princehorn saw. The 71 getting launched off the ground right in front of her, and rather lucky not to have gone upside down. That's a lot of damage on Princehorn. Her day is done, as well as Wilson Timothy's. From the aerial shot, Timothy makes a move to the inside. It looked like Princehorn left her room there, but they just get too close off of turn 2. That move could have worked out, but in this situation it didn't, and Blaze definitely got the worst of that. Well, it looks like he did, but again, he will be able to continue on. One more look at it, the 61 and the 7 came down ever so slightly, but there was not enough room to do so, and 3 cars go into the wall, 2 of them go out of the race. This caution forces Jason Miller to lose the big lead that he had over Daryl Quick, and Quick does not want to give the 40 truck any opportunities to build it back up. He goes to the inside on the restart, trying to get by the 40 and take the lead, but it's not going to work. Even though he's forced to the outside, Miller still retains the lead and holds off Quick. But the battle is on for third behind them, as Danny Vigo is being hunted by Mary Brousseau and Kim Conway, Michael McKinley right with them as well. Mike Ramos in the 23 did very well at this race last year. He started on the pole and led many laps, but he is not doing nearly as well today. He finds himself towards the back. Daniela Jacobson is the only truck behind him that has not been involved in a crash today, and as you can see, Jacobson is being passed by Hunter Blaze, who's now trying to get by Ramos as well. Blaze has not lost any speed despite that heavy impact into the wall that brought out the last caution. He's trying to get by Zach Churchill now for position. Further ahead of them, John White is breaking into the top 10 as he gets around Alex Martinez. You can get a look at White's new paint scheme. Didn't really get to see it much last week at MIS because he was running so far in the back. White finished in second to last in Michigan, and Hunter Blaze is now trying to get around Martinez right behind him. So despite all that damage, it looks like it might have made the 71 faster as he is marching his way towards the front. Or at least towards the midfield. He's got a long way to go if he's ever going to get to the front. I wouldn't consider that very likely, but you never know for sure. Meanwhile, back at the front, the leaders continue to battle for the 4th position, which is still being held by Brousseau, but they are racing hard behind her for it. Danny Vigo is beginning to pull away from them. He still runs in 3rd, and Quick still runs in 2nd, well ahead of Vigo, and way ahead of Quick is the leader Jason Miller. Still pulling away, he has not lost any speed all race long, and he's now caught up to the end of the field, lapping Kevin Thompson on about lap 70. As Zach Churchill, we mentioned, was running towards the back, he started out pretty well, but has really fallen off. Kind of surprising to see Churchill this far back at a track where he has so much experience. As we see that the battle for 4th has kind of calmed down a bit, Brousseau has settled in for 4th position, with Way 5th, Conway 6th, and McKinley in 7th, but a new driver has joined this battle. Jack Clark has slowly worked his way forward and has caught up to the back of Michael McKinley. McKinley runs wide in turn 4, and in turns 1 and 2. I wonder if he's trying a different line to see if he can gain any more speed because he is not catching up to the 00, and I'm sure he does not want Clark to have an opportunity to get around him. But for now, they continue to run single file, Clark not posing any immediate threats to the 99M. But ahead of them, Ronald Way is posing a threat to Mary Brousseau. He tries to go to the inside, but the 25 doing a good job holding him off on the outside. Brousseau only had 5 starts last season, but I believe had 4 top 5s, including 2 second-place finishes. Running full-time this season, she's considered a favorite to contend for the title. But ahead of all of them, Jason Miller is still working his way through lap traffic. We're on board Chase Eberhardt now. There's Miller going by on the inside to lap him. They both made up the front row, but after 99 laps, the 40 has lapped the 91, 60 if you count the green flag lap since the last restart, and there is only 1 more to go. Miller has a huge lead over Daryl Quick, and a lot of buffers in the form of flat trucks. And after a very impressive showing, from start to finish, Jason Miller will win the Flat Rock 100. Indiana Dirt Tracks seem to produce drivers who are very well suited to this series, as the last 5 races have been won by Indiana Dirt Track racers, and there's a bit of an incident in the pit lane after the checkered flag. A bit of a stack-up results in Michael McKinley running into the back of Kim Conway. No harm, no foul there, not a lot of damage inflicted upon either truck. Again, the second win for Jason Miller in his 2nd start, which of course gives him a winning percentage of 100. He will be racing next week at Toledo as well as Terre Haute, so we will only see him 2 more times this year. Daryl Quick had nothing for the 40 truck today. He ran in 2nd for the entire race. Danny Vigo finishing in 3rd after starting in 3rd and running in 3rd for the entirety of the event makes it 2 Operation JM trucks on the podium. Mary Brousseau gets another top 5 with an impressive 4th place finish. Ronald Way ends the day 5th. He is normally outperformed by his younger teammate Chase Eberhardt, But today it is Way's turn to be the top driver at Outlaw Motorsports with his top 5 finish. Eberhard finished all the way back in 12th. Kim Conway finishes in 6th, that's her best career finish in her 3rd start. Michael McKinley finishes in 7th, he held off Jack Clark, who finished in 8th. John White finishes in 9th, and Mike Ramos is able to hold off Hunter Blaze and bring home a top 10.